Okay, picture this. What if protecting a rainforest could directly pay for a village's school or its healthcare? Well, that's not some far-off dream. It's the bold new reality Papua New Guinea is actually trying to build. So today, we're going to break down their incredible plan to link saving forests with helping communities thrive. And really, it all comes down to one simple but super important question. When we pay to protect a forest, who gets the money? I mean, for decades, that's been a tough question to answer. The money just kind of disappears into these complicated systems. But Papua New Guinea, they're determined to fix that. And Papua New Guinea is a really unique place to try this. Why? Because here, customary communities legally own most of the land. So that question, who gets the money, it's not just about economics. It's about legal rights. It's about historical justice. So you need a solution that's just as unique as the country itself.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the big promise and the big risks. Then we're going to get into the real nitty-gritty of PNG's blueprint. We're literally going to follow the money. After that, we'll check out the safeguards, the rules that protect people. And we'll wrap up by asking the really big question. Could this be a brand new kind of responsible economy?
So the promise is huge, right? Wealthy nations pay to protect these vital rainforests, which helps all of us fight climate change. But the peril, the danger, is that the money gets lost in red tape and never actually reaches the people who live in and protect those forests. It's a classic problem that's been a real headache for conservation efforts for years. The global system for all this is called Red D+. Yeah, the name's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. You put a price tag on all the carbon that's stored in trees. And when you do that, suddenly a living, breathing forest becomes more valuable than a logged one. That creates a really powerful reason to keep it standing.
So how is Papua New Guinea tackling this head-on? Well, they've basically created a detailed rulebook for fairness, a set of national guidelines that are designed to control exactly how the benefits from Red Plus get shared.
And this is not just talk. This is real. On August 23, 2023, the government officially launched this comprehensive set of guidelines. Their one and only purpose? To make absolutely sure that every single Red Plus project is transparent, that it respects the rights of landowners, and that the wealth gets shared fairly. This is where the plan really comes to life.
Okay, so this is the crucial part. How does it actually work in practice? Let's follow the money trail and see the different pathways PNG has mapped out to get the cash from the global level right down to the grassroots.
They've set up two main tracks. You can think of the national approach as the big, official, government-to-government channel. This is for the serious money coming from international climate agreements. Then you have the voluntary project approach. That's for private funding, like, say, a company that wants to offset its carbon footprint by investing directly in a conservation project.
Let's dig into that national approach first. This chart, which is right from their official guidelines, shows the money trail. Big international funds flow into the National Climate Change Authority. And they're called results-based payments, by the way, because PNG only gets paid after they prove they've cut down on deforestation. From there, the system kicks in to send the money where it needs to go.
And here it is, the most important part. The rules are crystal clear. A full 60%, the biggest slice by far, of these big international payments must go directly to the customary landowners and their communities. This isn't just a suggestion, it's the law. The other 40% is for government administration, making sure that the bulk of the value stays right there where the forest is. Now let's look at that second track, the project approach. Remember, this is for when a private company wants to directly fund a project in PNG to offset its emissions. This diagram maps out exactly how that private revenue gets shared. And check this out, that community-first idea is still front and center. Even with these private voluntary projects, the law says the biggest piece of the pie, between 50 and 60%, has to go to the customary landowners. The developer who set up the project gets about a third, and a small bit goes to the government to keep an eye on things. The priority is exactly the same. The community benefits most. But these guidelines are about so much more than just percentages on a chart. They're really built on a foundation of ethics and legal protections, all designed to make sure both the people and the planet are safe. The whole system is built on these core ideas. It's not just about cutting checks. It's about making sure everything is fair, transparent, and that communities are fully involved. And notice that huge emphasis on respecting the rights of indigenous peoples? This whole thing is designed to be a process done with communities, not something that's done to them. And this isn't just some nice-sounding language. Here's a quote from the country's Minister for Environment, Conservation, and Climate Change. He makes it totally explicit. He says the guidelines guarantee that the rights of customary landholders are protected. That is a really powerful promise. And to make sure that promise is kept, every single project has to follow this mandatory 4-step path. It all starts with deep community consultation, which leads to a formal plan. And then, this is the most critical part. They have to get free, prior, and informed consent. What does that mean? It means no project can move an inch without the community's clear, unforced approval, which then gets locked into a legally binding agreement. This whole process is the system's ultimate safety net.
So when you put all these pieces together, the money flows, the ethical rules, the legal requirements, what's the ultimate goal here? What are they trying to build? It's about creating something totally new for the entire country.
The big vision is what the government itself calls a new, responsible economy. It's a future where a community's wealth grows not from cutting down trees, but from keeping them standing. Where protecting biodiversity and fighting climate change also means building a better school or a new clinic. It's about drawing a direct line between a healthy planet and a prosperous people. So, Papua New Guinea has put together one of the world's most forward-thinking blueprints for getting climate money to the people on the ground. The plan is ambitious, the rules are clear. The big question now is all about execution. Can they turn this brilliant design on paper into a lasting, fair, and prosperous reality? The world is definitely watching.